They're fucking brutal. They're fucking brutal. Hey, chat, I can use that against you. They're so awful. Saku taking his hobby more seriously than people take their jobs. You know what? Because I have you guys watching me. I have X amount of people who actually care, and I would disappoint you guys if I wasn't there. What? With me tied up like this? No way. Sure, we've talked before and we kind of hit it off, but come on, she's freaking royalty. Untie me, goddammit. Isn't this the music and extra you get when someone confesses or you get to a conclusion of an arc and they finally realize they love each other? What is this music? Mei is leaking so hard. This is definitely Tsukuyomi. Maya would never reply like this. Monka. His face. That's weird. I thought that'd fix it, but I swear someone's staring daggers at my back. Don't tell me I screwed up again. I've got chills running down my spine. Feels like my head's gonna be chopped off the moment I look up. You just have to apologize twice, remember? You have to say no twice. And the moment I do, off it goes! Nice, Dogeza policy. Good job out there? Shit, was that too casual? It'll take some time before my ears will go back to normal, but this ain't nothing I can't live with. Look at those judgmental eyes in the back. I think, actually, isn't Maya older than Hibiki? I actually don't know, but it's been a bit since the end of Unlimited, right? So Hibiki probably sees her as like a respectable One-san type figure as well, right? Of course he has a crush on her, but Hibiki probably isn't that old.
そなたの挺身が世界の行く末を大きく変えました。あの時のそなたの覚悟と決断、私は決して忘れません。
Why does she just sound completely like Maya now? She sounds nothing like Yuhi.
やめてください。
Maybe it's
俺
because
は
it's
当然の
casual.
ことをしただけで、そんな風に言ってもらうほどのことなんて何も。
己の生死を賭して停戦を呼びかけることが当然だと？
そこだけ見ていただけると大それたことかもしれませんが、あの状況でそれを決断して志願したことは決して特別だとは思いません。 腹をくくるまでにいろんな思いがあったのは確かですし、成り行きに流された上に選択肢がなかったと思う気持ちもなくはないんです。
Also, as a side note, it looks like Hibiki's hair got an upgrade. He's got H's in the middle of his hair now.
俺がやらなければ同じことを神尾少尉たちがやったでしょうし、むしろ俺は覚悟が決まるまでグダグダしてて小さいやつだったと思うくらいです。でも殿下とのお話で覚悟を決めてからは迷うことはなかったです。
RTX on.
だからお礼を言うとしたら、それは俺召喚から殿下に対してなんです。
注意。
It's the same voice actor. So I think, when we first heard the voice actor for Yuhi, it sounded like the Meiya voice actor already, right? And then the game kept hinting that it was Meiya. And then now, she's not even pretending to sound like Yuhi anymore. It's just literally your bog standard Meiya voice.
おかげさまでこれが自分の道だってことを受け入れられるようになりました。ありがとうございました。
Remember, Yuhi speaks like, ha, hi, wakarimashita, like super soft. Just a few days ago, I hated to hear people fawning over me as a hero. The only reason why I managed to cross the continent is that Yuzuka was by my side. The only reason why Seattle still stands is thanks to Major Jinguji's tireless efforts. It pissed me off. Why was I the one getting all the credit? The people who should have been hailed as heroes were cast aside and ignored. For the life of me, I couldn't understand why the spotlight was on a minor player like myself. And sure, Major Jinguji told me to live up to my false reputation, but I didn't have the faintest idea of how to go about it. But then, everything sort of fell into place.
でもだからってちゃんと見えてるわけじゃないと思います。
I think they'll explain it, gamer.
それでもその道を外れたいとは思わないんですよ。
Ain't like I can utter a couple of words and presto, instant enlightenment. Things don't work like that. Experience, the accumulation of successes and failures, is what makes all the difference. You can't remain the same man you once were after you've put in the hours.
だから殿下にとって俺って人間に利用価値があるならこれからも使ってほしいし、そうなれるように頑張ります。殿下？
Oh shit. This is what always happens when I get in the zone. I keep droning on for like forever.
全く似合わぬことを言う。殿下も言葉を失っているぞ。駒遣い志願とは変わった男ですね、殿下。
ああ。立浪注意。そなたの思いはよくわかりました。そういうことであれば、私もその思い、存分に組ませていただきましょう。
Okay.
はい。
私も決して聖人君子ではない。そなたはその現実を知る者として改めてその命預かることといたします。立浪、そなたの命私にくれ。
はい、よろしくお願いします。
ただ一つだけ忘れてはならないことがあります。
I don't think she trusts... Oh, you wish Meiya trusted Hibiki enough to tell the secret of her identity. I don't think anyone can know. Maybe not at this moment, maybe Hibiki finds out, but I think it's too big of a secret. You know, if let's say Yuhi was dead, it's far too big of a secret to let out, even by mistake. You're better off taking that shit to the grave. You know what I mean?
はい。
私はそなたの道の途中にある存在です。
Guiding light.
いつかは私の背中を追い越して己の道を進む。それこそがそなたの本懐。
殿下。
その時が来たと悟ったならば遠慮せずに申しなさい。預かったお命お返しいたしますゆえ。
はい、ありがとうございます。
She saw through me completely, deployed a preemptive strike even. Yeah, doing Her Highness's bidding can't be my ultimate goal in life. I can't explain why, but my gut's telling me that's the case. It's gotta be hard though. Serving Her Highness is an honor, and the status it brings might be intoxicating. Or maybe I'll simply go with the flow and forget about everything. Who can say? I know my limitations. That's why I think it'd be easy for small fry like me to fall into either one of those traps. Hell, I might have one foot inside already for all I know.
今のお言葉、心に刻み込みました。
Let's be honest, if Marimo-chan came back, he would instantly shrimp after her. Instantly.
殿下、そろそろ頃合いかと。
ええ、そうですね。
では、 ここからは私が。立浪注意。
はい。
貴様がどういう思いを抱いていようが、自身で下した先日の決断、その結果は受け入れてもらわねばならない。
And he would be right to, of course.
それはその通りです。
Consequences, huh? I thought my little stunt the other day would have come back to bite me in the ass, but that hasn't been the case so far. I guess there wouldn't be a military trial, but I'll still have to answer to my country somehow. Regardless, Lieutenant Tsukuyomi is hinting at something real important. I assumed authority far beyond my rank, and the time will come when I have to face the music. It's hard to be brought down to earth after all that lofty talk, but if there's something I've learned from Major Jinguji, is that assuming responsibility is the right thing to do.
これより、この国と世界を取り巻く情勢を説明する。機密情報を含むが、貴様は知らずにいられる立場ではない。
And he's
それ
actually
が
quite
結果
smart.
だ。
え、話を聞くのが結果を受け入れるってことですか？
そうだが、なんだ、随分と軽く捉えているようだな。その道に踏み込むことは少なからず貴様を追い込むぞ。
Time to go to school.
視野を広げなければ常に惑わされ疑心暗鬼となり、戦場に立ってもそれは拭えない。簡単に言えば新兵と同じ心境だ。一瞬の迷いが死につながる。だが貴様にはもうそこから逃げるという選択肢はない。後戻りはできないのだ。己が成長を果たす以外に道はない。よもやかつて一度もその辛さに直面したことがないとは言うまい。運だけで今の立場を手に入れたわけではないと信じたいが。
はい、そんなことはないと思っています。
念のために付け加えるが、貴様が情報を知り成長を求められるということは、貴様の部下たちも巻き込まれることになる。その覚悟はあるんだな。
Yes, I know they'll have my back.
力を貸してくれ。
はい。
Hi. I have to believe in them.
大丈夫です。お話を聞かせてください。
では始めよう。
Forced school.
ということになる。私からの説明は以上だ。
理解しました。
So the Royal Guard government and Her Highness are at odds with each other. Talk about a complicated relationship. I know this is a far cry from politics as usual. Still, the unaffected manner in which Lieutenant Tsukuyomi told the story almost made it sound that way, which worked great for me, because I would have been freaking out if the whole time
間
otherwise.
もなく征夷軍艦閣下がシアトルに到着されます。
So there's two different factions, the Royal Guard faction and the Shogun faction, right? But then technically aren't Tsukuyomi and the other gang also a part of the Royal Guard? So I guess they must have just sided with Yuhi instead. She's talking about His Excellency Ikaruga Takatsugu, a hero of the defense of Kyoto, known as the most distinguished soldier in all of the 5 region houses.
そなたも知っての通り、現在国権はイカルガ公の手に委ねられており、国会は有名無実化しております。
So, just to repeat that,
そなたも知っての通り、
as I'm sure you're
現在
aware,
国権はイカルガ公の手に委ねられており、国会は有名無実化しております。
all power over domestic and foreign affairs have been entrusted to Ikaruga. The diet still exists, but it's merely a remnant of time long gone.
それに加えて大解放がありました。このような時勢では強い求心力が求められるのは道理。イカルガ公の立場は盤石なものになりつつあります。
So Ikaruga has been getting stronger over time. So that's where the Hawaii government currently stands. No one knows the specifics of what happened during the Royal Guard's coup, but everyone had a rough idea of what went down. The former government outright ignored Her Highness's directives, to the point where even elderly citizens were up in arms. His Majesty the Emperor had delegated all powers over state affairs, both foreign and domestic, to Her Highness. The cabinet's role was to help the shogun enact her preferred policies. It wasn't supposed to have any power of its own. Except that's very, very far from how things worked in practice. And following Prime Minister Sakaki's resignation, all pretense went out the window. Factions coalesced and disbanded. People with entirely incompatible political ideologies suddenly became fellow travelers, not to advance any particular policies, but to consolidate their grasp on power. Forget about serving your country. State capture was the name of the game. To the populace, their representatives seem like nothing more than power-hungry jackals, and now someone in the know has pretty much confirmed this was an accurate picture. All this led to the Imperial capital's defense regiment suddenly rising in arms and the Royal Guard moving to quash the uprising. It was a frontal attack on our corrupt ruling class. That's why the uprising enjoyed considerable popular support. But right when nobody had any idea which side the pendulum would swing, the Great Ocean Collapse happened and the whole world went to hell. So this is basically, isn't this the Royal Guard versus Sagiri? In a sense, again, but this time it's more you don't know who won. It's sad, but not many people can afford to care about politics anymore, knowing everybody has their hands full just trying to survive. And since nobody's paying attention these days, the Royal Guard government can do whatever it wants. How it's infuriating. Not only do they completely disregard Her Highness's lawful authority, but they also treat her like a mere PR figurehead, someone you can send around to make the people feel safe. The corrupt diet was bad enough, but the Royal Guard is even worse.
険しい顔をしていますね。
So even on both sides, regardless of who was ruling, Yuhi has always just been a figurehead toy.
それはそうですよ。
立浪注意。こういう時こそ視野を狭めてはいけません。光と影、正と濁、物事には必ず相反する側面があることを思い出すのです。
殿下。
イカルガ公は政治家として最善を尽くしています。これは疑いようのないことです。
There's nothing I can say to that, not when it comes straight from Her Highness.
ただ、公が救わねばならないものの重さは何倍にも増しています。果たしてそれに耐えきれるのか。
Oh my god, does he want to be his wife so she can share his burdens?
私はたとえどのような立場に置かれようとも公を見守り諌める役を担わねばならないと思っています。
Interesting. So even although she's shogun, but she's a useless shogun because they won't let her do anything, she also sees herself as someone who's above him and should criticize him if he does something wrong, right?
それが時に齟齬を生むことがあったとしても。
Okay.
もしかしてこの間の停戦の件、何かまずいことになっているんですか？
いかなる理由があろうと、あれは止めねばなりませんでした。大義のために切り捨てて良いものではありません。私たちが守るべきは国民の命です。その中にはもちろん前線に立つ兵士たちも含まれます。この時代に無駄な血を流すなどあってはならないことです。
Does that rule extend to beta refugees? Like Her Highness said before, there is no country without its people. So what is she trying to tell me? That His Excellency Ikaruga wanted the war to continue? Because if so, they're clashing on a fundamental level, and it ain't gonna be the last time. As a soldier, it's easy for me to see where His Excellency Ikaruga is coming from. Maybe we would have lost tons of Imperial soldiers in a war, but there was a good chance we could have solved the French problem once and for all. I mean, France wasn't in any condition to fight a protracted war. The longer the battle had continued, the worse the food crisis at home would have become. Their population would have continued to dwindle, and the military strength would soon have followed. Given enough time, France would have had no choice but to surrender to the United States and Japan. And who knows, maybe that would have been for the best. With one less threat to worry about, the masses could have gone about their everyday lives much more peacefully. Her Highness, however, doesn't believe a lasting peace can be built atop the corpses of millions of French citizens. Because she desperately wants to protect people, and not the Japanese people only, she believes it's a moral imperative to save everyone who can be saved. And that's incredibly idealistic, some might even say naive. But then again, so am I.
殿下、俺は殿下の思いに賛同します。
Okay.
征夷軍艦閣下も日本を救いたいと思っていること、それは自分なりに想像できました。殿下は理想、閣下は現実、そういうことなのかと。でもその理想は現実になった。権限を狭められ身動きが取れない。失礼を承知で言わせていただければ、まるで傀儡のような立場にあっても殿下はそれを成し遂げた。俺はそれを素晴らしいと思います。感情だろうが何だろうが構わない、そう思うんです。そして 苦しくてもその理想を現実にし続けていきたいと思います。
Hibiki is really tryharding, isn't he?
まあその方が性に合っているってのもありますし、現実だけを見ていたらどうなるか嫌っていうほど体験もしましたし。
立浪注意。そなたに心よりの感謝を。
殿下、注意、少尉、どうかよろしくお願いします。
お願いします。No dog is a. お願いします。お願いします。
それでは失礼いたします。
騒がしい男でした。
賑やかなことは良いことでしょう。今の時代ならばなおさら貴重でありましょう。どのような困難な時にも笑顔を忘れない。難しいことですよ。
お言葉ですが、何事にも限度というものがあります。しかし。
どうしました？
いえ、殿下の周りにあのような人間が必要というのであれば。
よい。そのようなことは考えるな。
Why don't you get Takeru instead?
は、出過ぎた真似をいたしました。
Because you can get him into everything else and your inner circle.
あの者が一番他人を求めているとき、一緒にいてやれなかったのに。
Okay, looks like Takeru probably lost someone and no one was there to help him.
今さら何を言えよう。
I wonder who died. That's the question. Who died to PTSD Takeru? 2 days later. Who could have died to make Takeru really sad?
どうにも敵さんの数が減ってるような気がすんだよな。
おい、そっちのデータリンク更新はどうなってる？
ダメです。上空に磁気嵐が停滞しているようで真っ白けです。クソの役にも立ちません。
たく使えねえな。まともに機能してるのはローカルだけかよ。気抜くんじゃねえぞお前ら。
注意が一番心配ですよ。
うっせえ。おう、立浪、そっちの調子はどうよ。
Wow. At least say hi. What on earth? What a dick. Not listening.
お前も災難だよな。せっかく紹介任務から外されたってのに、こんな時に限ってこれも雑用のうちってことだ。
お前な、こっちは無茶やったことで大尉に目つけられてんだからさ。
And besides, give me a little space here, will ya? I'm the one who's gonna be on the receiving end if she gets word about this.
変に社長配っちまってるといざって時に動けなくなっちまうからよ。要望だよ、要望で。そっちの調子はどうよ。なんか変わったことあるか？
Maybe he'll learn about Sumika. Sumika doesn't have dog tags though, right? Seriously?
ねえよ、なべてよはこともなしってとこだ。ああ、しかし4カ国会議の開催が決定してるのに国境警備とはね。
Just what the hell is His Excellency Ikaruga playing at here? This ain't the outcome he wanted, but he's still got to try and make things work somehow. You think he'd try to ensure the talks are a success? It wouldn't hurt to be on our guard, trust but verify and all that, but we also shouldn't assume they're acting in bad faith. And I don't see the life of me how increasing security at the border doesn't send our negotiating partners the wrong message. Well, I guess the name of the game is when we I guess that's the name of the game when we were killing each other only a few days ago.
おお、やっぱり休戦の立役者様としてはその辺が気になりますか？
Sumika's still in space.
無線切るぞ。
My baby, he says. I only acted in the heat of the moment. No one's more surprised than me that things actually worked out. And man, that Canadian pilot sure saved my bacon. Did I cut it real close or what? No wonder His Highness was worried about me. In hindsight, what I did was borderline suicidal, not worthy of praise at all.
わあ、怒んなって。なあ、フランスの使節団が到着するのそろそろじゃなかったっけ？
あと30分でカナダ領に到着予定です。
Okay.
少し遅れていますね。大解放後は気流がかなり変動したようなので読みづらいんだと思います。
I'm sure that Canadian pilot was thinking about how the people living on the other side of the border, about how their lives would get wrecked even further if the war went on. That's why he listened to me.
しかし、東から西へとご苦労なこった。燃料が余ってるわけでもなかろうに。
Because the French went from the west coast to the east coast to this border part, right? It beats the alternative, which is walking.
それだけ食料不足が深刻ということじゃないですか。
ま、そういうことだろうな。今は燃料の心配なんかより飯なんだろうさ。
状況的にはそれしかありませんわね。食料プラント襲撃なんてことまでしてきたんですから。少尉、あの件はまだ調査中です。彼らの仕業だと決まったわけじゃありません。
So we still don't know who the terrorists were with.
了解。とにかくギリギリだったってことよ。
You can't understand how big of a deal a famine is unless you've had nothing to eat yourself. Words can't do justice to how terrible that is. You just stop thinking clearly, start acting on instinct. It's the ultimate catastrophe, one where you lose your reason and forsake your humanity, sets you on a path that leads straight to hell. France is at its breaking point, but at least we managed to stop the war before it became a full-blown humanitarian disaster. Now let's just hope we can reach an agreement without killing each other.
なあエレン、ちょっと聞きたいんだが、カナダの住人は今回の停戦についてどう思ってるか想像つくか。
Whoops, sorry.
同じカナダでも私は東側出身だし。
アメリカとカナダが密接な関係だったのは間違いないけど、アサバスカ核攻撃に対するアメリカ軍アレルギーが存在していたのも間違いないわ。
Athabasca sounds like Alabasta in One Piece.
はっきり言って、この間の響の馬鹿げた振る舞いで停戦してくれたのは奇跡レベルの出来事よ。
Yeah, she's basically living with the baguettes. She's half a baguette, which is why she's a spy.
まあ、そうだよな。
アサバスカ核攻撃ってベータが宇宙から来た時に核爆弾で破壊したっていうやつですよね。
そう、カシュガルの鉄は踏まないっていきなり強烈な先制パンチを食らわせたそのことよ。
Wow, typical Americans. Shoot first, ask questions later.
もしそれをやらなかったらカナダもアメリカもとっくになくなっていたのに、それでも許せないんでしょうか。
多くの人々が自分の故郷を守れた代わりにアサバスカ一帯の人たちだけは全部失ったんだ。九州を守るためにスノ村だけが犠牲になったら、ミオノは九州が救われたって言って喜べるか？
It's even worse when you remember it's going to take several centuries before anyone can set foot in that place again. And even then, assuming humanity is still around, you can't simply let people back in, not with a bunch of live nuclear shells lying around the place.
そっか。それに怒りの矛先は話が通じる相手じゃないと意味がないっていう皮肉もあるのよね。
ベータを憎んでも留飲は下がりようもないからな。
そしてそこに大解放が加わった。これもアメリカのせいだと感じている人は多々いるはずです。
What, Americans are at fault for the ocean? Well, I mean, they kind of are. They did supply the G-bombs.
そこにダメ押しでフランスを受け入れざるを得なくなって追い込まれて。でもだからといってもあの時のやり方はあまりに無茶だったと思います。難しい判断だったとは思いますが、あれは。
分かってるよ。反省してる。
I can't condone any behavior that would recklessly place your own life at risk. I know better these days. If you only have one life to throw away, you better make your death count. But back then, I thought stopping the war was worth it. At the very least, Her Highness seemed to agree.
私はそなたの道の途中にある存在です。いつかは私の背中を追い越して己の道を進む。それこそがそなたの本懐。
Now that I think back on the question, Her Highness was trying to tell me I should make good use of my life. And she did that because she knows that her orders may very well get me killed one of these days. That's why she said stuff about being a guiding light and leaving her behind, and me leaving her behind. Damn, I'm amazed she's thinking this far ahead.
でも反省するならみんなですよ。あれしかないと思ってたんですから。そうですよね。そうですね。 もちろん立浪注意一人の責任になんて絶対にしません。
Not this again. I bet Yuzaka's thinking this is all her fault. At least that's what she usually does. She can't keep acting like this. It's not healthy.
ところで響き、前々日の夜中どこに行ってたのよ。
Nani?
うわ、ちょっと待てエレン、それ今言うことかよ。
Yabai. Yabai.
今でしょ。松風注意もいるんだし。
あ？俺がどうしたって？
Yabai. Bro, don't sell him out. Please, bro. Just say you were with us.
そうですね。松風注意、立浪注意をどこに連れて行かれたんですか？
ちょっと待ってくれ。全然話が見えないんだが。
Uh-oh. Oh crap, I better do something.
松風、戦闘待機中だ。そろそろ切らないと小牧大尉に気づかれる。じゃあな、お疲れ。
Jada.
あ？お前何を言って？
いや、あいつにも困ったもんでさ、飯菜に誘われて行った先は飲み屋だぜ。
He disconnected him.
いや、そんなところに行くためにわざわざ窓から侵入を煙幕まで用意して。
あいつらしいだろ。
Oh, right, Ellen. You should watch Last Diver, Saku. Her backstory is actually there. Yeah, sure. If they put it into a game, I'll play it.
そうでしょうか。いつもなら普通に声をかけてくるじゃありませんか。
I told you, Lieutenant Cameo. I told you. Anyone will suspect foul play after you three trashed my room like a bunch of idiots.
まあ、なんだ。みんなには知られたくなかったみたいでさ。